Well, I'm like a lot of other Americans. My heart, my thoughts, my prayers are with the people of Ukraine. We're doing as much as we can in the United States to, as quickly as possible, deliver to the people of Ukraine the weaponry they need to defend their homeland. It's a difficult situation. Fortunately, a lot of other countries, probably a couple of dozen at least, are also supplying to the people of Ukraine either humanitarian aid on the one hand or military aid on the other. Ultimately, though, what it comes down to is we've got a very horrible, evil person in charge of Russia by the name of Putin. And we have to also hope and pray that the people of Russia will replace Putin as their leader, something that we do in the United States on a regular basis and a lot of other free peoples around the globe do on a regular basis. But unfortunately, the dictatorial nature of Putin is such that the people of Russia have not been able to get better leadership. Hopefully, they'll see the light and they'll do exactly that.
I want to turn to our own border crisis here that you're very familiar with now. Our southern border in disarray when you look at the numbers from CBP and how many are entering the United States illegally and then being sent to various areas across the country. I believe you introduced a bill to reform temporary protected status programs, as we show you here. I believe this is from your website. Congressman Mo Brooks introduces bill to reform badly broken temporary protected status program. Explain this to me and what your effort is to our viewers.
Well, unfortunately, we have a porous border. I want to focus just for a moment on the damage being done to American citizens. Over 2,000 dead Americans each year killed at the hands of illegal aliens. Those Americans would be alive each year. But for our porous southern border, then you've got another 30,000 plus that are killed each year from the deadly narcotics that are smuggled across our porous southern border. And that doesn't even start to get into the adverse tax impact of us having to pay for all these illegal aliens. At least that's the policy of the Biden administration. It's not the policy of Mo Brooks, or the lost wages and lost jobs caused by cheap foreign labor, undermining the ability of Americans to work at a standard of living that they would prefer. So that's the backdrop. Now, what we have with this TPS bill is quite simple. We have illegal aliens coming into our country and then claiming some kind of status that would enable them to stay in our country permanently. No, if you come into our country illegally, you have forfeited all right to claim any of our protections that might otherwise be given to people who come in lawfully. And so that's what this bill does. It denies illegal aliens the benefit of this particular section of laws that otherwise might be used had they come in the right way rather than the wrong way.
I'm going to pull this up. It's a political poll, if we can, control room. A political poll asked those respondents, do you support or oppose the Biden administration removing current border controls? Here's what it breaks down to. 41% strongly oppose removing current border controls here. 13% oppose somewhat. And then support amongst it there, 22%, 13%. But bottom line here, if you added up the bottom two, you're going to see a majority of folks don't support that. You could break that down to a possibility. That was Morning Consult and Politico, by the way, for sourcing information. But you could break that down to Title 42. That's been talked about. It will end May 23rd, and it was put in place to be able to send those coming across the border due to public health emergencies, public health measures. That's going to be ended. Your thoughts on that by the Biden administration?
Look, the Biden administration's border security policy is real simple. It's a welcome mat and a happy meal. I was at the Arizona border just a few weeks ago, and in the backdrop, as I was being filmed talking to my chief of staff, you had illegal aliens crossing our border, climbing up the dry riverbank, Colorado riverbank, then immediately searching for the Border Patrol agents in order to get into their air-conditioned vans and be given refreshments at the holding facility before they're distributed around the United States of America. That is not border security, President Biden. That is open borders. And what you're seeing just across the board with 2 million illegal aliens, probably more than that, crossing our border last year, is this Biden administration, in my judgment, is violating Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution, wherein it is the federal government's responsibility to protect the citizens of the United States, and in particular the states in the United States, from an invasion. And in my judgment, that is also an impeachable offense under another provision in the United States Constitution. But unfortunately, the Democrats control the House, they control the Senate. They are en masse supportive of this policy, as well as some moneyed groups who seek to profit from all of these illegal aliens being in the United States, those who profit from hiring cheap foreign labor rather than paying Americans a living wage. So we've got a real problem in the United States, but it comes down to the American people. If they want a better government, by golly, they better get engaged and they better start electing people who support border security rather than merely mouthing the words to get their votes in primaries and general elections.
Yeah, primaries right around the corner, obviously, and also the midterms just a few months away. So we'll see what the voters have to say at the polls come that time. Congressman Mo Brooks of Alabama. Good to see you, Congressman. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.